You break out of the egg, somewhere in the Amazon rainforest. Your sibling hatched yesterday and already fills half the nest with its body. You're wet and can't see anything around you, so you stay still while your down dries. The nest is massive, built from branches thicker than your legs, and sits near the top of a tall tree with the forest stretching out below. Your parents arrive together carrying something heavy between their talons. It's a chunk of sloth meat, torn and still bleeding. Your sibling screams and lunges forward, so your mother drops the food directly into its open mouth. You try to call out, but your voice is too weak and gets buried under your sibling's noise, so you get nothing. A few days pass, and your eyes open. Now you can see your sibling clearly. It's twice your size, covered in thicker down, and moves around the nest like it owns every branch. Your father returns with a small monkey, lands on the edge, and tears pieces off with his beak. Your sibling rushes forward and swallows the first 3 chunks without stopping. You push closer this time and manage to grab a scrap of meat before your sibling shoves you back toward the edge. It's not much, but your stomach stops burning. That afternoon, rain hammers the nest and water pools in the center. Your sibling moves to the highest point where the branches cross, so you're left sitting in the shallow puddle with your feathers soaked. You try to climb toward the dry spot, but your sibling kicks out with one leg and knocks you back down. So you stay low and wait until the rain stops and the water drains through the gaps. Your sibling is still twice your size, but in a few weeks, something will change that neither of you can control. You're 6 weeks old now. Your sibling has been getting every meal first for as long as you can remember, but today, something changes. Your mother lands on the nest with an iguana hanging from her talons, drops it in the center, and your sibling lunges forward like always. But this time you move faster, grab the iguana's head with your beak, and pull it toward you before your sibling can react. Your sibling screams and slams into your side trying to rip the food away, so you dig your talons into the branches and hold on. Your mother watches from the edge of the nest but doesn't move to stop either of you. The fight lasts only a few seconds before your sibling backs off, so you tear into the iguana and swallow the first piece. That's the first time you've eaten before your sibling, and your stomach finally stops feeling empty all the time. Over the next few days, you keep growing, and your body starts catching up to your sibling's size. Your father brings a sloth one afternoon, and this time both of you feed without fighting because there's enough for everyone. You practice flapping your wings between meals, pushing down hard against the nest and lifting your body a few inches off the branches before dropping back down. Your muscles burn after each attempt, but they're getting stronger. Then your sibling tries something new. It jumps toward a branch just outside the nest, opens its wings, and glides forward. But the landing goes wrong, and your sibling crashes into the leaves, scrambles with its talons, and barely manages to grab hold before falling. After a moment, your sibling climbs back into the nest and doesn't try again that day. Your wings are almost ready, but leaving the nest means leaving the only safe place you've ever known. Skip forward a bit, and you're 4 months old now. Your wings are strong enough to try leaving the nest, so you jump toward the nearest branch and open them wide. You glide forward for a few seconds before your body drops too fast, making you crash into a tangle of leaves and vines. Your talons scramble for grip and finally catch hold of a thin branch that bends under your weight but doesn't break. Your sibling took its first flight 2 days ago and managed to land cleanly on the same tree, so now it's somewhere above you watching. You need to get back to the nest because you're too exposed down here, so you start climbing up through the branches one at a time. Your talons dig into the bark and your wings flap to help push you higher, but it takes nearly an hour before you finally pull yourself over the edge of the nest. A few hours later, a large beetle crawls over one of the lines, and the vibration runs straight down into your burrow, so you rush out and grab it before it can get away. Over the next week, your flying gets better. You jump from the nest and glide to nearby trees, and each time your landings get smoother. Then your father calls from below, so you follow him down through the layers of branches until you're flying just above the forest floor. He lands on a low branch and watches a group of howler monkeys moving through the trees ahead. You land beside him and watch too, but he doesn't move toward them and eventually flies back up without hunting. A few days later, you make it back to the nest after a long flight and your legs shake from the effort. But now you can cover distance, and soon you'll need to start catching your own food. You can fly now, but you still can't hunt. And your parents won't feed you forever. You're 8 months old now. Your mother brings something different to the nest today, a bird that's still moving but can't fly because one wing is torn. She drops it in front of you and backs away without feeding you herself. The bird flutters and tries to stand, so your sibling drops down and kills it with one strike to the neck. Your sibling tears into the body and eats while you watch from the side. The next day, your mother returns with a young coati that's still alive and trying to bite. She drops it between you and your sibling, then moves to the edge of the nest. The coati scrambles toward the branches trying to escape, so you jump forward and bring your talons down hard, but you miss its body and only catch its tail, making it twist around and snap at your leg. You pull back and try again, this time pinning it against the nest floor with both feet. You squeeze until it stops moving, then tear into its side. That's your first real kill. 2 days pass, and your parents stop bringing food entirely. Your stomach is empty, and you need to hunt, so you leave the nest and fly through the trees looking for anything you can catch. You spot a macaw sitting alone on a branch below you, so you fold your wings and drop straight down with your talons, reaching forward. But the macaw sees your shadow and takes off before you get close. You chase it through the branches with your wings pumping hard, but the macaw turns sharper than you can and disappears into the thick leaves. You give up after a few seconds and return to the nest with nothing. Your sibling comes back later that day carrying a small sloth. It lands on the nest and eats without sharing. Your sibling is hunting successfully now. You're still learning, and soon, there won't be room for both of you here. You're 1 year old now. Your parents have been getting more aggressive each time you return to the nest, and your sibling left over a week ago and hasn't come back. You try to land on the nest branches this morning, but your mother lunges at you with her talons reaching forward, so you pull up and fly to a nearby tree instead. You watch as both parents start adding fresh branches to the nest and tearing away the old ones, rebuilding it for their next chick. You're not welcome here anymore. You spend the next few days moving through the forest without a clear direction, sleeping on random branches that aren't claimed by anything else. Then you spot another harpy eagle in the distance flying between the trees. It looks around your age and size, so you fly closer to get a better look. But the other eagle turns toward you and opens its talons, so you veer off and the other eagle follows. You both meet in the air with your talons clashing once before you break away and fly in the opposite direction. That territory already belongs to someone else. You find a clearing with one tall tree rising above the others, and there are no other eagles anywhere nearby. You land on the highest branch and stay there for the rest of the day, watching the forest below for movement. That's when you spot a group of capuchin monkeys traveling through the branches about 50 feet down. You remember how your parents used to drop silently from above, so you lean forward and let yourself fall. Your wings stay tucked until the last moment, then you open them and swing your talons forward. You grab one monkey from behind before it can react, and your talons crush its body, making it go still instantly. That's your first solo kill. You have food now and a place to sleep. But this isn't your territory yet, and something larger might already be watching. Skip forward a bit, and you're 3 years old now. You've been hunting this stretch of forest for months, killing sloths and monkeys whenever you find them alone. Then one afternoon, you spot another harpy eagle flying above the trees where you've been storing leftover sloth meat in a high branch. This eagle is older than you and much larger, a fully grown male with a thick crest. He needs to claim this area as his own, so he drops toward your cached meat and lands on the same branch. You can't let him take it, so you fly straight at him and swing your talons forward. You connect with his chest and both of you fall backward into the air, so he kicks up hard and strikes you under the body. The impact knocks the air from your lungs and sends you spinning down through the leaves until you catch yourself on a lower branch. He circles above trying to find you again, so you launch upward and aim for his left wing. Your talons slice through the feathers and into the muscle underneath, making him falter in the air. He tries to strike back, but you're already moving and rake your talons across his chest a second time. He pulls away and flies off through the trees without coming back. Over the next few days, you patrol the area constantly to make sure he doesn't return. Then another eagle appears, a female who's younger than the male was. She lands on a tree at the far edge of your territory and watches you from there. You stay where you are and watch her back, but neither of you moves closer. She drops down and catches a sloth near the base of her tree, then carries it up to eat. You don't fly over to challenge her, and she stays on her side. She's stayed longer than any other eagle you've seen here, and soon, that will mean something neither of you are ready for. You're 5 years old now. The female has been sharing your territory for months, and today she lands on the same branch where you're sitting. You stay still and watch her, but she doesn't open her talons or make any threatening moves. So you stay where you are and she moves closer until she's only a few feet away. Over the next few weeks, you start flying together through the forest and hunting on opposite sides of the same clearing. One day she lands in the tallest tree you've ever seen and starts pulling branches toward the center of a high fork. You need to help her build, so you fly down to the forest floor and grab a thick branch in your talons. You carry it up and drop it near where she's working, then she picks it up and weaves it into place. You bring more branches over the next several days, and she arranges each one until the nest is wide enough to hold both of you. Then one afternoon, you land beside her on a branch just below the nest. She leans forward slightly, so you step closer and climb onto her back for a few seconds. That's it. A few weeks pass, and she stays in the nest almost constantly now. You hunt alone and bring back sloths, monkeys, and anything else you can kill. One morning you return with a sloth and hear a high-pitched call coming from inside the nest. You land on the edge and see a small chick covered in white down, opening its mouth. Your mate tears off a piece of the sloth and drops it into the chick's throat. You keep hunting every day to feed both of them, and the chick grows fast. Then one afternoon, another harpy eagle flies too close to the nest. You see it from below, so you take off and fly straight at it with your talons forward. You strike it once and chase it away before it gets within 50 feet of your tree. Your chick is growing, and you're hunting constantly to keep it alive. But out here, even the strongest hunters can become prey. Skip forward and you're 12 years old now. You're flying through the forest with your mate and 2 of last year's chicks because they haven't left yet. You're showing them how to find sloths in the high branches and how to drop without being seen. That morning, you cross into a section of forest you haven't visited before. After flying for a few minutes, you spot something on the ground below. It's a dead capybara lying in the open with no other animals near it. You need to investigate, so you circle lower and land on a branch just above the body. Your mate and the two young eagles follow and land nearby. Everything looks safe, so you drop down to the ground and walk toward the capybara. Then movement flashes above you and something massive hits the branch where you were just sitting. Young harpy eagles drop from the trees all around you, at least 6 of them. This is their territory and you miss the signs. They come at you from multiple directions, so you open your wings and try to lift off. But one strikes from the left and slams into your side, knocking you back down. Another goes for one of your chicks, so you turn and block it with your body. Your mate screams and tries to push the young eagles back toward the trees, but there are too many. You fight to hold them away from your family, striking with your talons whenever one gets close. You've won fights before, but today you're surrounded. One eagle dives low and tears through your back with its talons. You spin around and grab its leg, pulling it down with you. But the others keep coming, and you can't move fast enough anymore. Then you take a hit just behind your shoulder. Your wings stop working, and you fall forward onto the ground. The young eagles land around you and start tearing into your body. Your mate escapes through the trees with both chicks following close behind her. Your eyes stay open long enough to see them disappear, then everything stops. Life as a harpy eagle might be rough, but there's another animal out there that has it way worse. Trust me, it's wild. Check out the video and see for yourself.